we're going to start with presentation. First thing you need to know is that The Mandalorian is being sponsored by Disney. It's the flagship Star Wars show on Disney+. What does that mean? It means that Mickey Mouse himself is sponsoring all of this. When all those money he's been making since we were kids, guy just brought out his wallet for this show and was just like, okay boys, this is my wallet from all the money that we've been making over the couple decades, and it's time for us to put this money in the bank. Boy, did they kick it out of the park. From episode 1, the presentation on every single episode, the CGI, the animatronics. Animatronics are elements in your scene, like aliens or animals or monsters, but you don't use CGI, you use practical effects to make them happen. The entire initial trilogy of Star Wars, almost everything you saw, 80% of it was animatronics, and they do that here as well. The entire show is a love letter from Jon Favreau to the entire Star Wars universe. For those of you who don't know who Jon Favreau is, you know who the chubby guy that follows Happy Hogan, that follows Tony Stark around. That is Jon Favreau. He directed Iron Man 3. Jon Favreau is an amazing actor, and he's comedic as well, and that comedic nature shows in the storytelling aspects of this show. The presentation of the show is just amazing. Even his armor, like when you see Mando, sorry, a mosquito actually just flew past. When you see Mando walking with the Beskar armor for the first time, you're like, wow, this is so beautiful. And that's what you feel from beginning to end. Even the parts of the show that are dark and like that make you feel like there's some treachery afoot or some stuff, the show just presents it so freaking well. Like, I can't fault it. Mickey Mouse put his money to good use, man. Mickey, you tried. I appreciate you for it. Like, it was good. Presentation was amazing. Character development. And you guys are going to pity me here because I don't remember all the names. So let's start with the character development of 3 main characters in the show. One of them is Mando. Mando is the protagonist of the show who you follow. And when I was watching this show, the things that stood out to me were the things that they didn't need to do. For one, Mandalorians never show their faces to anyone. Mando is no different. So from the start of the show to the end of the show, his face isn't shown. So now the question must be asked, how does this guy convey emotion? How does he act? How does he behave? How does he relate with people? How does he convey intent, convey urgency? All these questions are answered from subtle ways in which he moves, subtle ways in which he answers questions, the way he carries himself, the way he relates with everyone around him. It's just so well done that by the time you're done, when the opportunity arises for him to show his face, and I know, don't show us, we don't want to see. Like, man, Mickey Mouse, you've been trash. You've been really trash. His character was developed so well over the course of the 8 or 9 episodes that the show ran, that when you find out his backstory, find out his motivations, find out all the things that he's done would have made it into the badass that he is, you just appreciate it. The guy has earned your respect. The same applies for everybody that supported him in the show. There was the guy, oh crap, why can't I remember his name? The guy that says, I have spoken. I know if you've watched the show, then you know him. And even if you haven't watched the show yet, you'll know who he is immediately because he's in the very first episode. The way his story was told with regards to the larger Star Wars universe and everything about him, his caring nature, the fact that he's a mechanic, he's mechanically gifted, he's this, he's that. Ah man, then by the time you get through his story, then you now get through the story of the caretaker robot, the bounty hunter robot as well. All of them were introduced within the first moments of the first episode. You fall in love with these characters so much by the end that when there are genuine stakes at hand, when there is the possibility that one of them could die, might die, should die, you genuinely feel lost. And saying that for Disney, the same company that has made me fall out of love with every Star Wars movie that has come out recently, that's a massive statement. Jon Favreau took the ball and just kicked it out of the park. Character development, in my opinion, stellar. Absolutely 100. 10%. They killed it. It was amazing. How does the show hold up in the stakes department? The only way stakes mean anything in any show, in any movie, anything that you watch, is for actions to have consequences. If the good guy steps into a room full of bad people and they can hurt him, he should be hurt. There's no invisible armor that should protect him. Now the actor be that now. As he enter the place, he just come out, go and shoot every. Nah, fam. In real life, if you walk into a room full of bad people, bad things will happen to you. That is what stakes are. And this show does such a good job of conveying them, because the Mandalorian himself, Mando, is such a badass. But in the situations where he walks into rooms or into planets that he's not supposed to, he pays the consequences. He has to come up with ways, ingenious ways to escape them. There's no invisible plot armor that you can just say, now the actor, and because now he be the actor, nothing go do him. Nah, man, you felt it. He made mistakes, he paid for them, and the show carries him through that. You see his character develop episode by episode through that, and that. A review of The Mandalorian cannot be complete, should not be complete without one person. And this is, some people might say this is a spoiler, but I don't think it's a spoiler, because if you've been on the internet, you already know what I'm talking about. This review, these pros of this show cannot be complete without Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda. Some people said he was overused. I don't think he was. Baby Yoda was integral to the storytelling of this show, and every time I saw him on the screen, I was happy. He's 50 years old, he's cute, he's adorable. I'm not going to say anything more than that, because that would border into spoiler territory. But yeah, watch this show because of the Baby Yoda. You won't regret it. Baby Yoda makes this show 10 times better, personal opinion. So now, why don't we talk about the cons? Because there's nothing in this life, nothing for this life where it not just makes sense, where it makes sense. He must spoil from one place or the other. Even better shoot, they get the day where you go where you go choke you for leg. I'm sorry, I'm a bit excited, as you can tell. There's nothing that is perfect. And even a show as good and as perfect as The Mandalorian, there are things that could be improved on. My only gripe with this entire show is the lack of any meaningful or titular villain. The villain was introduced in the last 2 episodes, but I felt he was very lackluster. He was not menacing, didn't make any meaningful impression on me. Quite frankly, he came across as if his plan was not particularly bright or smart. Like, it just felt very random to me. Like the way he approached, the way he wanted to get what he wanted from the protagonist. So that's my major gripe with the show. There was no villain, and the villain for a show which boasts the kind of character development that Mandalorian does, you would expect that an equally developed villain would be introduced at the end of the show. And sadly, I didn't get that. The person that was introduced just made me I felt like I was watching a pastor from a Black Baptist church in the US decide that he wanted to be an intergalactic dictator. I know that sounds random as hell, but when you watch the show, you'll understand it. Shout out to Jerry Curls. So, if I was to rate The Mandalorian, what would my rating be? The rating methodology being used in this show revolves around my alter ego, aka Jollof. So, we're going to have, in this life, you cannot have more than 5. We're going to assume that you cannot have more than 5 plates of jollof. And if you have 5 plates of jollof, you are the most fulfilled and blessed man in this universe. God has blessed you. If you have 1, then we need to start some prayer and fasting. Highest you can get is 5 plates of jollof, and if your jollofs are even amazing, it's going to be garnished with like some red hot peppery stew on the side, some chicken, some beef, some boiled plantain. I can't eat fried plantain anymore, sadly. In that beautiful world of 5 plates being the most fulfilled a man can be, the Mandalorian gets 5 plates of jollof with chicken, and then but it doesn't get like boiled plantain on top, and it doesn't get stew, just because of the villain that I don't really approve of. But aside from that, man, 5 plates of jollof out of 5 plates of jollof for the Mandalorian. Alright, guys, if you like the review, please like, comment, subscribe, share. I know there's been a while since I posted anything up, and I promise there is an explanation. And that explanation is coming up in a special video that's going to follow this one soon. I'm going to be reviewing new stuff after this. Altered Carbon Season 2 is out. I'm reviewing that soon. Castlevania is out as well. I'm going to be reviewing that soon. And I have one of my regular video essays coming out soon. So yeah, please like, share, comment, subscribe. By December, we're going to get to 1,000 subscribers. By the grace of God, inshallah, I'm good. Yeah. We all together on this? Alright, see you guys later. Peace.